Yes, beginning.
Okay, so I'm doing a history club presentation on the Romanov, the 3rd century reign. I know what you're all thinking. Yes, she's doing a bunch of Russian stuff. I went to go see the Anastasia play at the Kennedy
Musical,
Center.
the one on your shirt.
Yeah. At the Kennedy Center not that long ago. My adoption day was just recently in November. So yeah, I figured why not do another Russian one. You'll definitely see me do other stuff not Russian, I promise you.
It's just not gonna happen right now.
But yes, it's not gonna happen right now. Okay, so getting into this.
Space spot.
The men of the power.
Button.
So this is the 1st century. So Michael Romanov was the first Romanov Tsar to take power after Ivan, or Ivan the Terrible. After the times of trouble, Michael fell ill with scurvy, dropsy, and possibly depression. He didn't get better, and after fainting in a church, he died a few days later. Alexis formed an army. These don't really matter, but I figured why not at least talk about the 1st century and then get into the last century. So yeah. Anyway, Alexis formed an army. He faced many rebellions across Russia. He dealt with the Salt Riot in Pskov, which is really up here in Europe. My friend's actually from there. And Great Novgorod. Novgorod. What?
Novgorod?
It's Novgorod.
No, okay, whatever. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Where I'm from is Nizhny Novgorod, but this is just the Great Novgorod. Anyway, the Salt Riot started because the government replaced usual taxes with salt taxes because the state treasury needed to be replenished after the times of trouble, thanks to Ivan the Terrible. Fyodor III was born disabled. He was probably suffering from scurvy. He did, however, create a system of, I'm going to butcher that.
Just go for it.
I learned this last night, but my brain is a mess, which was a complicated seniority system of which the government posts a voyeur, an old member of the aristocratic
families?
Yeah, in Russia, could occupy. He was the oldest son of Alex and Maria.
Ivan V. I can't read Roman numerals. I don't care, it's a V.
The V is a 5.
I don't care, it's a V.
When him and his sister were young, Ivan's older sister, Sophia, did not want him becoming into power. I guess she thought that, he's being such annoying, I don't want him in power, he's gonna screw everything up. I mean, he did, but...
She was right, but...
So she spread rumors that, Fyodor was poisoned, and that Ivan V was strangled by voyeurs, just to get 10-year-old Peter in the reign. Why not have a 10-year-old in power? Whoop-de-doo.
Well, come on, I mean, it worked for not a lot of people.
Ivan IV became power during his reign when he was 3.
There was a guy who was emperor of China for like his first 2 years of life, and then they kind of overthrew that.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's really hard.
Infant kings don't end well. Let's just leave it at
I
that.
believe the last emperor of China was 8 years old.
Well, I mean,
Anyway, these rumors stirred up the Moscow uprising of 1688. leading to the Streetsleep storm they stormed the Moscow Kremlin. I say Moscow Kremlin because there are many Kremlins. It is not just one, there's a bunch.
There's more than one Portland.
There's one in St. Petersburg. There's one in basically every city in Russia that's big. So,
just like how there's more than one Pittsburgh.
He was the co-ruler with Peter the First. Ivan had been described as senile and paralytic and almost blind by a foreign ambassador, and he died 2 years later. That's
small loss.
Why he was co-reign with Peter. Now we get into the second century reign. Peter, known as Peter the Great, he knew that Russia was behind on civilization in Western Europe. So what did he do? He decided to tour Western Europe, and he brought back all these wonderful findings.
If I may, just kind of an interjection. When he was going around, he tried to disguise himself so he didn't look like Russian royalty. So you have the 6-foot-tall guy with a beard and a very obvious Russian accent, and you are supposed to pretend that you don't know that he is Tsar Peter. You're supposed to pretend. That's just hilarious. It's like, yes, you're obviously not Russian, you person with a very obvious Russian accent. You definitely aren't him. Go for it. Continue.
This was known as the Westernization. He made the boyars wear Western European clothes.
They did not like that. They did not like that.
Yeah, they didn't at all.
Please bring up the beard tax.
They made them shave their beards, and if they didn't, they had to pay a fine.
Or their beards were forcefully shaved off. If you didn't want to have your beard shaved off, you could purposefully pay the tax beforehand, and they'd give you this little thing. People didn't like that either.
His love for Western Europe helped him shape his own views on Russia. He started trading with other countries to get more money to shape Russia and fix the economy, which was totally crap. He also helped fix the military. He put time and effort into the army to make sure they were equipped with the right materials needed. Peter was really good at learning from his mistakes. He fought with Sweden and won the warm port along the Baltic Sea so that they could have more trading routes, which was good because most of their trading routes were freezing cold because Russia is so cold that, things just freeze and then you can never get to them.
And Russia's mostly landlocked. Most of it is.
It is definitely, except for the outer parts. Anyway, this is just a look at the second century reign.
So, more Peters. Name originality was very high.
Yeah, but I think I screwed this up.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I totally screwed that up. Oh well.
Reign from 1776
Yeah,
to 17...
I should have put a different reign. But
so some of these. What? Oh, all right. Yep. Well, okay. The 11th. Sorry, I remember him.
These are more people that reigned. But we're not getting into them. Sorry. The last Tsar to Russia, Nicholas. Nicholas II was the last emperor of Russia. He reigned until he was forced out of power. His nickname was Nicholas the Bloody, or Vile Nicholas, due to his political adversaries, due to the
He was not popular.
Kotka tragedy.
Oh,
In
I don't remember that one.
Moscow.
Which one was that again?
This was a festival for the final coronation of the last emperor of Russia, which resulted in 1,389 people being killed.
It's not that much for Russia.
It's not,
Wasn't that the largest stampede in history? In terms of like deaths. I think. I just read that somewhere. It seems like it could be easily beaten, but let's not try to do that.
Yeah.
Also, the anti-Semitic pogroms, yeah, which was an anti-Jewish pogrom in the Russian Empire, where large-scale targeted and repeated anti-Jewish rioting that first began in the 19th century. And Bloody Sunday, or Red Sunday, events on Sunday, January 22nd, 1905 in St. Petersburg, Russia, when an unarmed demonstrator led by Father Georgy Gapon were fired upon by soldiers of the Imperial Guard as they marched towards the Winter Palace to present the petition to the Tsar Nicholas II of Russia. The massacre on Bloody Sunday is considered to be the start of the active phase of the Revolution of 1905.
Papers.
Now the women of the power. There wasn't that many of them, but Sophia allied herself with singularly capable courtier and politician, Prince Vasily to install during the minority of her brother Ivan and half-brother. She carried out her reign with a firm and heavy hand, not hesitating to use violent tactics to promote her agenda.
She was eventually overthrown, correct?
I don't remember.
She's Ivan the other, whatever his name was, Ivan the something.
Was that the infant Ivan? That was like...
This is the older sister of Ivan, right? Yeah, when she was overthrown, they threw into a nunnery or whatever those things are called, where they make nuns. Yeah, nunnery, and her brother made sure that she never got to go outside ever again, and then eventually she died. Political rivals, you imprison them apparently.
Catherine I, she wasn't documented. It was believed to be said that her date of birth was April 15th, 1684. Her original name was Marta Helena. She was the daughter of Samuel, a Roman Catholic peasant. Anne and this other Anna were both regents in times of need, while the right of heir to the throne was starting to get into power.
So, backups.
Yeah, because this was when I believe one of the guys died around her time, and so they both took power while waiting for
Okay, how did the first one reign from 1730 to 170?
I was wondering that too.
Maybe that's just 1740.
That's probably a mix-up.
Would assume so.
I was supposed to say 1740. I thought I put 1740 on
We'll
that.
just imagine there's a 4 there.
Yeah, there's a 4 right there.
Someone got a sticky note. We'll put it there.
And Elizabeth led her country during the Austrian succession of 1740 to 48, the 7 Years' War, 1756 to 63.
Is Catherine the Great? Is Catherine the second Catherine the Great, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the second Catherine is Catherine the Great.
Oh, I have so much I can say about her.
Assisted by highly successful generals, and she governed at the time when the Russian Empire was expanded rapidly by conquest and diplomacy.
Most of those generals also were boyfriends for some time.
Oh, right.
She
that
also
story.
might or might not have had her husband killed in jail.
Whoop-de-doo!
We know that one of her boyfriends
You
did
know
it.
that
We
her
just
husband
don't
was
know
more
that.
interested in toy soldiers than in her.
Oh yeah, completely.
Oh, yeah, that was
Like-
that was like the first, that was like.
She
one
gets
of
there
the
and he's
right?
this.
Yeah.
Nobody likes him, and then there was this uprising where someone tried to pretend that he was her dead husband, and she said no, and basically repressed everyone.
Oh wait, is that
Oh.
Georgia?
Wait,
She was right.
Didn't Catherine the Great help out the Americans and French during the American Revolution?
Sort of, I
Maybe.
believe so.
I think.
Right?
Yeah. That sounds like something
She
she
sent
do.
her fleets to like defeat the British Navy.
That sounds like something she would do.
That.
Yeah.
No, this is a-
But then when the French turned revolutionary, she was like, "Nope, we're having none of that."
Yeah.
Well, everyone was like, nope, we're having none of
The
that.
mystery, the magic of
Yeah.
the mystery. Of the Romanovs.
The mystery.
What's the mystery?
So everyone knows this mystery. Hopefully, everyone knows this mystery about Anastasia and
Oh yeah.
things like that, and how
She died, but
she
where's
may
her
have
corpse?
not been around, and she may have. No one really knew.
It's confusing.
Until really late in the 1900s, getting into the early 2000s, actually. She was definitely a daughter of Nicholas. I can tell you that right now. Nicholas II.
No, I didn't hear what you said.
Was definitely the daughter.
Okay, she was. All
She
right.
was one of 4 daughters, I believe it was. One of 4 or 5. Olga, I think one of them is Maria, her, maybe another one, and her brother. So, her brother's important though.
Because he dead?
I mean,
He's dead
he's
too,
dead,
but
right?
him and his sister were both not. Him and Anastasia were both not being able to be found. It was believed to be said that when they were held at gunpoint and whatever, trying to get to the safe area of underground, that the jewelry that they had on, it actually maybe stopped some of the bullets because it was woven into their clothes. So
Huh.
that's one theory. Her and her brother were not be able to found Alexei. Her body was what believed to be found. They went back and they did another thing
DNA
in like
testing?
the 1990s and 2000s of DNA testing of the burial site. So they believed it was her and her brother.
I'm not quite sure.
And oh god, I loved him. Rasputin.
Rasputin.
He actually knew the Romanovs. He was a close acquaintance
To the queen.
Alexandra, Nicholas's wife. He actually saved
Is this the son?
son, yes, from a bleeding
Hemophilia?
bleeding episode. I forget what he was suffering from.
Hemophilia?
Hemophilia.
Hemophilia.
Yeah.
They were all
Hemophilia.
like descended from Queen Victoria, who was a
Yeah.
carrier for it. So like,
The loveliness of inbreeding.
this is where genetics is actually like interesting.
You know that something's very strange when epilepsy is considered a valuable, like, characteristic of having within your royal family.
Is it?
It was in one of them. I don't know. Probably the Habsburgs, because there are thousands of them.
And during that time when he helped his son, he believed that there was going to be, that the dynasty would come to an end. But they didn't believe him.
But hey, look, he was right.
Yeah. So.
Whoops. Should have listened. Again. Oh, that's your last page.
Yep, that's it.
Any questions? Any
Should I
questions?
save the applause till after the questions?
Questions? Anyone?
Don't
Someone's
be shy.
gonna have a question. All right then.